I have in my hand the Stanley slim fixed TV wall bracket. It can support TVs from 46 to 90 inches. It's available with free delivery from freetv.ie, and it's very low profile, so the spacing of from the wall to the back of the TV is about 25 millimeters or an inch or so, so extremely neat. Now it's static, you can't tilt it, you can't move it out, but for a lot of applications, for a very large TV, you probably just want it mounted extremely tightly onto the wall. So if we come along, we'll say we can see the general design of it here. What I might actually do is just rotate it around and just give an indication here graphically of the television hanging flat on a wall like that, and it's just giving an idea here of the distance 1 inch out. Okay, so I'll move the box out of the way, and fundamentally this TV bracket is made of two component parts. The first part is the part we're going to mount onto the wall. So what we do here is we put it up to the wall where we need it. We use a little mini spirit level that comes with it. It'll sit on top here, a little magnet on it so it'll sit there, and we mount it exactly where we need it. And what we can do at that point is we'll just use these plugs and screws to show you the pack here. So the first half of the pack is the plugs and screws here will be used for mounting it, so it's a total of 6. And then there's spacious washers, and these parts here are actually nuts and bolts that we use for mounting the TV to the wall brackets. Okay, so I'll show that in a bit of time. So we'll go to mount it. We'll probably do it in a total of 4 locations or 6 locations. Here and here, again in the centre, and then at the end as well. Okay, so at that point we have a bracket mounted on the wall, ready to take the television. Okay. So the next thing to come along then is to say, well, how are we actually going to put a bracket onto the television? Well, these brackets actually attach directly onto the television itself. So there's 2 component parts with them there. So I'm just going to pull them apart here. So there's 2 things to consider when we're doing this. The first thing is, how are we going to fix this onto a television? Well, what we really want here is, we want a bracket here and another bracket here and mount it. And we can imagine that they are like was shown in the original graphic, where we have a television here mounted directly on the wall. So on either side of a television we're using a standard called a VISA standard. So it decides how far apart the holes will be, and it's a standard right across all televisions. So small televisions might have 100 by 100, medium size up to 32 inches probably be 200 by 200, and then the larger ones go into 400 or maybe even 400 by 600 VISA standard. So the spacing thing here allows us to have a very wide range of sizes. And equally then, because we can set these brackets a set distance apart, we're really quite a range in terms of what we're capable of doing, okay? So we can slide it up and back to suit the certain VISA standards. So what you do in terms of the actual assembly of it is, you would get the bolts that are here, find the size that matches what's on the television itself, and bolt directly in with a washer. And all of a sudden then, you'll have a television mounted onto the 2 brackets, and you can lift it and drop it into position. So this comes then to the second point, which is you want to be able to drop it in, but you want to have it dropped in and stay securely in position. So on the top part of this bracket, we have, I'll just give a side profile here, we have this groove, and it'll match the groove on top of the bracket, and on the bottom part we actually have it spring loaded. And the idea of this is as follows. We come along, I'll just do one bracket at a time, we come along, we slide this in here and we drop it over the top of the cover, but it won't go on the bottom. But what we do at this point is we pull the spring-loaded marker, and now we have it bolted on. And what I'll actually do at this point in time is I'm just going to repeat the same process here. We slide it on, and we will just pull this spring-load mechanism here, drops on, and now we have it loaded on both sides. So at this stage, you can imagine, so we have the television loaded, and we have it, both strings in our hand, we pull them down, and it lets us drop it on, lock it in position, and when we release the 2 strings, they pop back up. So at that point, we'll say, you might think you'll have a problem of this string hanging down. Will we cut it off? What do we do with it? It actually comes with a little magnet built in on both sides. So right behind, we can just come along and we can stick it onto the side of the bracket like that. So like really, nobody else other than Stanley was going to the design efforts in terms of making a really great product like this. In terms of a finish, both aesthetic and for safety reasons, what they have here is a clip that clips down at both ends. So instead of clipping in from the end, what they've actually done is they've designed this to clip from the top down. So if a television comes along and you're trying to slide the television off the end, rather than falling clean off the end, what it'll do is it'll actually hit and stop at this bracket, where to dislodge this off of the bracket, what you need to be doing is pushing force outwards. What the television will be doing is pushing force this way, so it actually won't be dislodging the bracket in any way, so it means it's quite a safe quite a good safety guard at the end. So that's fundamentally what we'll have. We'll have this on the wall. The television will be mounted facing directly out, an extremely tight profile to it. So overall, it's just one of a huge range of super designed Stanley brackets that we have available on the freetv.ie website. So we, in terms of mounting this, making sure you don't mount it upside down or something like that, you just note here we have arrows both directions, both ends here, and it just says up on it, so there's no real scope to get it wrong. So that's it anyway, the Stanley Slim Fixed TV Wall Bracket with a range, suited for a range of TVs from 46 all the way up to 90 inches.